Hi there, this is Rob at Reason101.net, and today I wanted to show you a quick method on how to create a multi-band reverb unit. Let's get started. Here I have a sound that I'm using in a Thord, and this is what it sounds like. It's pretty raw, so yeah, we're going to use that. So let's first create a combinator. And you can delete the mix channel. And then if you flip it around, what we're going to do is we're going to take this Thor, the sound device, and we're going to route that into the combinator. And we're going to route the combinator output into the mix channel again. And inside the combinator, what we're going to do is we are going to create a line mixer. And then holding the shift key down, let's create, and actually I'll create it up here so you can see it. We're going to create a stereo imager, and then underneath that we're going to create a reverb and another reverb, the RV7000 Advanced Reverb, and now we'll just route this up. So what we're going to do is from the two devices, from the combinator, we're going to go into the audio input, and then from the audio output we're going to go into the audio input of the first RV7000, and then we're going to do the separate out, and that we're going to go into the audio input of the second reverb. We're going to change the separate out to the high band, and so what's going to happen is this is going to become the low verb, and this is going to become the high reverb. Okay, and now both of these outs are going to go to separate channels in that line mixer. Perfect. So now around here, what we'll do is we'll open up the programmer. One other thing you have to do with Stereo Imager, since we have selected this to be the high band as a separate out, so the main normal out is going to be the low band, and that's how you've got to solo that low band. So onward we move. Now what I'm going to do is on the low reverb, I'm going to first start off with that. And rotary 1, let's change that to the dry wet amount, and then this is going to be reverb amount. And I'll just remove the labels from the other parameters. Okay, so rotary 2, we're going to change that to the algorithm, and this is going to be the reverb type. And then rotary 3, I'm going to select 4 instances of rotary 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the small size for the first one. I'm going to use the room size for the second one. I'm going to use the hall size for the third one. And I'm going to use the arena size for the fourth one. And while we're at it, the algorithm on that, we're going to change this. Instead of being 8, we're going to do it down to 3. So what that's going to do, if we open up one of our low verb here, what that's going to do is the reverb amount is going to be the dry wet knob, and the reverb type is going to change to be from a small space to a room algorithm to a hall algorithm and to an arena algorithm. Okay, so that's what that's going to be. Now on the third one, we are going to change this to room size, and this is going to, we're going to need to have that is going to be your different sizes, so that's going to be your room size. On button 1, we're going to change this to be room type. Okay, and on the last rotary over here, we will change this to decay. Let's change this to rotary 4, and we'll change that to decay. And now let's do 3 instances of button 1. Button 1, button 2, or button 3 button 1s. Okay, and this is going to, we're going to program this to be the small room shape. And the second one we're going to program to be the room shape. Very self-reflexive. And then the hall, we're going to do the hall room shape. And what this is going to do is this is going to change the room type from 2 to 4, or from 1 to 4 really. So the room shape is going to be 1, and then it's going to change to 4. And it doesn't matter if we're on the Hall algorithm, let's say, it's going to change 1 to 4. The only one that doesn't have a room shape is the arena type, which is the last reverb type. So we're just not going to use it. Plus also we've used up all of our rotaries here. Which leads me to the next idea here. Since we've used up all the rotaries, we could use the same rotaries for the high reverb. Okay, so we could use all these same rotaries, but then what happens is these rotaries become global. They're going to affect both of these high and low reverbs in the exact same way. So we don't want that. We want to be able to separate out the low verb and maybe have, like, let's say, a small room algorithm on a low reverb and the Hall algorithm on the high reverb. So in order to get around that, what you're going to do is underneath here, you're going to hold down your Shift key, create another combinator, make sure that's not rooted anywhere in the back, and then what we'll do is we'll take this high verb, select it, and then just drag it down into this combinator. And then in that combinator, you're going to take the high verb and you're going to do all the same rootings that we did on the previous one. So dry wet on rotary 1, this is going to be reverb amount. This is going to be, let's just make sure I get it all right, reverb type, room size, and decay. So that's reverb type, room size, and decay, and then this is going to be room shape. And the other ones will be turned off. And then I'll just do the routings quickly. This is going to be the algorithm. It's going to be only the first 3. Then you got to do 4 instances of rotary 3. Small size, room size, hall size, and arena size. And then this is going to be rotary 4, that's going to be our decay. And then 3 instances of button 1. And that is going to be the small room shape, the room shape, the hall room shape. Okay, so now we've got our 2 separate high and low reverbs. Now what I'm going to do, I'm also going to close this. I'm going to create another combinator, holding the Shift key down again so that it doesn't root anything. And I'm going to take this stereo imager out and I'm going to just bring it into that other combinator down there. And now in the programmer for this combinator, I'm going to have this be the verb crossover. I'm going to have this one be the low band width and have the third rotary be the high band width. And everything else, well, there's not much else in this combinator, so you're not going to need it. Okay, and then let's take this combinator and we'll just move that up under here. We'll close that, we'll close this. Okay, so now what you've got here is you've got your imager. What you've got here is your low verb, and then what you've got down here is your high verb. And let me just make sure that that's right. Yep, this is the low verb, and then there's the high verb. Okay, so now what's happening is this is going to control the crossover between the low and the high verb. And then you've got the low verb controls here and the high verb controls here. And that's going to create a split band for your reverb. So this is what it's going to sound like, and I'll just test it out a little bit for you so that you can see it.